Urgency is setting the pace of your system, and everything is starting to organize around it. You don't need to control every storm in the system, but you do need to stop letting the storms set your pace. You can feel it in your body before you can explain it. Your breathing shortens, your thinking narrows, and your pace lifts. This is what it's like to lead when the pressure never lets go. And that pressure is not random, because trauma doesn't stay inside the individual. It moves into relationships, into teams, into tone, into decisions. You can see it in conversations, you can see it in handovers, you can feel it in the room, and this is how it spreads. And once you can see that, the way that trauma moves, you're not just dealing with a hard day, you're looking at a pattern. Leadership in this moment is noticing the pressure, naming the pattern, and refusing to let urgency do the thinking. Steady leadership brings calm instead of spreading chaos. Trauma is contagious. Reacting with urgency looks productive, but then too much of the burden sits on a reactive individual and their effort instead of a repeatable practice. So one of the key issues is that good people keep trying harder inside systems that are still organized around pressure. What works here is not becoming more impressive or more competent or more experienced. What works is becoming more repeatable. So our first move is rhythm, margins. Before you start, before you finish, between meetings and between sessions. Time for your mind to think, your chest to breathe, and for your body to settle. You see, good people are trying to carry through effort what the weak should be carrying for them. If the week is built around urgency, steadiness will keep feeling out of reach. And this means that rhythm is not a luxury. It's what keeps you available. Available to think, available to connect, and available to lead. And when that starts coming back, you can feel it. More breath, clearer thinking, more steadiness in your body. But personal steadiness will not hold for long inside a week that is still organized around urgency. You can anchor yourself well and still get swallowed by a badly designed week, a full calendar, no buffers, no recovery, no thinking space. Because your calendar is a leadership system. Back to back can look efficient, but it steals recovery. It narrows thinking. It increases reactivity. So before asking your team for better output, give them a week that can support better output. Time to think, space to reflect, breathing room where it matters most. Because when the week has no room to hold good practice, people start slipping into over-functioning. They push harder where the system should be carrying more. We can't expect steadiness to survive in a week that's built for urgency. And steadiness doesn't just live in one person, it has to get organized across the whole team. Because a divided team can't create a steady system. A child can't borrow steadiness from a team that keeps handing them mixed signals. When adults are working from different maps, the child meets confusion instead of containment. One person slows things down, another speeds it up, one soothes, another escalates, and the whole system starts feeling unpredictable. And trauma thrives there. It divides, it pulls people apart, it creates tension that no one ever quite names. And one antidote to the dividing power of trauma is alignment. Alignment is shared understanding. What are we seeing? How are we understanding it? How do we want to respond? When teams align around these three things, tone settles, confidence increases, handovers improve, and people stop working against each other. Without alignment, good people keep compensating, repeating unhelpful conversations, repairing preventable confusion, carrying tension that should have been resolved upstream. The team needs a way to come back together before the drift takes over, because leadership is not just about staying steady yourself, it's helping the team to organise, to be steady under pressure. Because pressure is going to test every good intention. So the real question is not whether the rhythm gets disrupted, it's whether the system knows how to return before urgency takes over again. That is sustainability. That is reset. And that is leadership. A good rhythm that can't survive pressure is not a rhythm yet. Trauma changes systems through repetition, and so does healing. Teams often start with high energy, a clear plan, good intention, maybe even some relief, and then pressure rises. Something gets missed, somebody gets tired, urgency comes back, and the whole thing starts sliding. Now that possibly feels familiar, and I really hope it doesn't feel shameful, because sustainability doesn't mean we've got to do everything perfectly. It means building something that's repeatable enough to return to when the week gets messy. Without reset, drift becomes normal, standards start dropping, pressure starts running the room again, and people begin calling chaos, it's just how it is. So look back clearly. What held? What slipped? What is the system paying for? What needs returning to? What can realistically hold next week? The goal is not to build a system that never gets knocked. The goal is to build one that knows how to come back. This work is not about becoming more impressive under pressure. It's about becoming more repeatable under pressure. If you keep trying to lead inside urgency without changing the pattern that's underneath it, you'll keep paying for it in your body, in your thinking, your team, and in your system. So you've seen the pattern. You know the cost. You know what steady leadership requires. Now the question is whether you're going to keep reacting inside urgency or build the rhythms that let you lead differently. You can keep running at the pace that trauma has set for the system and keep paying the same price. Or you can change the pattern and build the kind of steadiness that people can actually organise around. Get rhythm first. Stop letting urgency set the pace, because repeatable beats impressive.